What's going on, YouTube? Lasagna here, back with episode 15 of Road to 2000. Last episode, we hit a big milestone, 1600. So we're starting at 1607 for today's episode. And let's keep this ball rolling. First day as a 1600 man. And we'll see what we get here against com_003. So we're playing a Sicilian here, and looks like we're getting a closed Sicilian. I don't know a whole lot about this line, to be honest. I think one idea is to put the rook on b8 and then push this pawn forward. So we're going to try that. See where that gets us. Okay, so if I go here, and he comes here, we go e6, and then the knight doesn't have a lot of great squares it can go to, so let's continue with our plan here. Yeah, can't come here. Could go to f4, I guess, or back to e3. Does go back to e3. Now I think we could probably just play d5 right away, or maybe like knight e7 and d5. Which one of those do I like more? I think I have to prepare it because we only have 2 defenders on that square. Okay, opponent goes knight c4. He's moving pretty quickly, so it makes me feel like he knows what he's doing here. But I think this just runs into d5, does it not? Yeah, knight can't go here. Let's go here. And I kind of like what we got going on here with this like pawn chain. I'm guessing we take with the pawn just to open up our bishop here. And I like our position. See, it feels like we're in control here. We got a nice castled king. We got lots of pawns in the center. Okay, we get knight f4. Question is, what do I want to do with this bishop? Like, doesn't have a lot of great prospects on this diagonal because it kind of just gets taken wherever it goes. Maybe I could go like knight f5. I guess he is attacking the pawn though. 3 times. We're only defending it twice. So I guess I could just go like bishop e6 and just concede the bishop pair. Doesn't really feel right though. If I go here, I mean, it could be a move. It does give him this whole diagonal and this square for the knight. So what do I do? I'd rather make an inaccuracy than go down 4 minutes on the clock. So let's just go here, give him the bishop pair, and go from there. Okay, get rook e1. So he actually doesn't take the bishop, which is interesting. I guess I could just make an improving move as well. Try to catch up on the clock a little bit. Ooh, maybe that was inaccurate though, because now after takes and we take with the pawn, we don't have a rook on the f-file. Okay, maybe just queen d7. Queen d7, bishop f4. Seems relatively okay. Maybe we want to jump our own knight in the center, because we do have this nice pawn that kind of discourages him from playing c3. So let's do that. Maybe we could replace this knight with the other one on e7. Ooh, I didn't consider that move. Yeah, that's a little bit annoying. Not the end of the world, though. Is queen b5 any good? Queen here kind of lines up with the bishop. Queen c7. Queen c7 looks fine. Let's go queen c7, I guess. Let's take. Guess we could try to trade the knight off. Knight f5 might kind of run into the pawn storm. Yeah, I think trying to trade the knight off makes some sense. Knight's very strong in the center. Okay, it goes here, which feels a little bit wrong to me. Now he's got this isolated pawn. And we have the b file. I don't know. The positions might be okay, actually. Do we take? I don't know. Taking fixes isolated pawn problem, but gets rid of this really annoying knight. I think it's probably worth it, to be honest. I really don't think we should leave that knight on e5. Problem is my bishop sucks. If we grab the f file, he's just going to clog it with bishop f4. This is the weakness in the position, so maybe just here or knight f5 makes sense. Maybe queen b6 at some point to put more pressure. Queen b6 also... Queen b6, maybe it goes here. But then I can just take. It also has this sneaky threat. Oh, wait, it's not a threat because the rook defends, though. I was going to say the pawn is pinned. So we'll see if the rook ever moves or something. Maybe then it's an idea. Can't go here because we take. He could go there, but then takes. Because the rook doesn't defend the pawn anymore. So, interesting position. I actually feel like we're doing okay, despite white having the bishop pair here, just because, I don't know, we have a nice knight on f5, got some pressure on this weak pawn, and his bishop is a little bit misplaced on c8 or c1. So I think we're in good shape. Only down 2 minutes on the clock, which is you know, an improvement for where I'm usually at in the middle game. So yeah, we'll see what he does. Okay, he just gets out of the pin. Makes some sense. I think we just want to improve the position though. Just put the rook on the open file here. Maybe we could go here. Oh, he's gonna stick his bishop here though. Wait, is this not just a free pawn? Oh, I guess he's... No, he doesn't go there, though. Yeah, I think he just made a blunder, but... Maybe he wants to go like here. So if we go rook b7 here, I mean, we could just take, and take. So I think we kind of need to go here. Yeah, and he has kind of cemented this bishop in. I have to be a little bit careful, like maybe rook f1 with some ideas of combining here, but I mean, we have that square pretty well controlled at the moment, so. And now we have a protected passed pawn here, so that'll be an asset in the end game. Like I think if we can kind of trade things off, it's probably in our favor, just because yeah, we have a protected passed pawn. So maybe moves like okay, so let's dissect the position a little bit here. So he's attacking my queen. My knight is currently hit, so I gotta keep defending the knight. So maybe here. Let's just go here, I think. Here. No, I'd take it. Yeah, just gotta move this knight away as soon as he runs out of these tempo moves. We also only have 243 now, so we gotta be a bit careful. He's gotta be careful of this fork. Maybe he has... Wait, what? I don't get it. Okay, I mean, we have a queen trade at a minimum. Like, there's no way we are unable to stop this pawn, right? So let's get these off the board. We'll be hitting the rook after. And the, actually, we'll be hitting both rooks. Yeah, just that can't be it for my opponent. I mean, my king is a little stuck, but I think we should be able to go here. Just stop the pawn. Here, here. I think we're okay. Up a lot of material, so as long as this pawn isn't becoming a lady, I think we would just win the game. And if I get one more, if he doesn't push the pawn, yeah, then I'm just gonna go here. If he goes here, then I think we just have check, here, check, here. Let's just go here. I gotta be careful of the clock. Just attacking the pawn here. Okay. I think we're okay. A little bit low on the clock. I'm gonna not talk for a second here. Got him. Okay. That was not a lot of seconds to do that, but we got him. I was not calm underscore 003 that end game. I should get a heart rate monitor for this because man, that was intense. All right, let's take a look at the analysis. All right, so that was a little bit too close for comfort, if I do say so myself. I played with a 78% accuracy. Calm underscore 003 played with a 70.2. So let's see what happened here. So we played another Sicilian here, and my opponent plays the Closed Sicilian, where I think White's general plan is to fianchetto to the bishop, castle the king to the king side, and play like f4 with like some sort of pawn storm. So I like to play the rook b8 followed by pushing this pawn just to annoy the knight here. So this is what we get. And I think this is a pretty standard position in the Closed Sicilian. My idea is to play on the queen side. His idea is to play on the king side. So yeah, we go d5 here, just striking in the center. We get knight e3, we kingside castle, knight f4. Bishop e6, I didn't want to play this move because after takes, we have this backwards pawn, and white has the bishop pair. But we have to kind of develop the bishop here, I think. Okay, knight e5, the engine likes a little bit better. I don't really fully understand. Oh, I guess it's maybe just to play this move. That makes sense. I thought I just wanted to develop my last piece, but maybe, yeah, going for this early queenside play was better. But my opponent doesn't take, and instead goes rook e1. We go rook e8, which, yeah, I knew after I played it wasn't an accuracy, because I think you know, if we're going to let him take the bishop, we at least want to get the semi-open f-file. So I probably should have played something like this, or Engine wants a queen move, like queen d6. But after this, you'll notice our rook was better placed on f8 after the trade. He goes knight g4, and we go queen d7, just you know, connecting the rooks and protecting our pawn. He goes f4, we go knight d4, just centralizing the knight. And the whole idea is that we have this pawn here that plays against the move c3, so it's not really an outpost because he still has c3, but at least we have we'll have an open file for our rook if he ever plays c3. So that was my idea. Opponent goes knight e5, we go queen c7, c3, takes. We have a nice open b file here, and we play knight to c6. He strikes in the center, which, yeah, I didn't think this was right, because we can just take, and now he's got this isolated pawn. And yeah, this move's a trade-off, right? Like, he has a weakness here, but he also has this really strong knight. So I was kind of just trading one of his assets, but in return he gets to gets rid of one of his weaknesses. So I guess it wasn't right. Just a bit of a judgment error on my part. But we get this position after knight f5, and yeah, I thought I was doing quite well here. You know, we have lots of control here. He's got this awkward bishop, and our knight's actually nicely placed on f5. But white has this long-term sort of advantage of having the relatively open position with the two bishops. So we get a4, queen b6, and king h1. So as I was saying in the game, there was some tactics, like if, let's say white does like a weird move, then, you know, he always has to be worried about bishop takes e5. It doesn't work in this position because, yeah, he just takes with the rook, but this pawn is pinned is the idea. So maybe a better move to show the example is this, cutting off the connection here, because now after I take, he can't really take back because of knight takes here. So yeah, he just wanted to step out of that pin. We go rook c8, which I guess is a miss. We can play queen take. Oh yeah, the pawn was just free. Whoops. But we go rook c8, and he goes bishop a3. We take here, and I guess this loses the game after a5. Ooh. Yeah, just sacrificing the pawn because I can't keep protecting the knight. And this bishop does a great job protecting all the squares that I could use to protect my knight. So yeah, that would have been a win for white. So I should have taken with the queen. But he doesn't see it. He instead goes bishop d6. I go here. And now he plays a5. A little bit too late now, though, because you'll notice my queen has a square now to protect the knight. He goes here. We go queen c3. And he takes the pawn. This was a wild decision. I mean, I guess he just thought I wouldn't be able to deal with some of these prospects of the rook behind the passed pawn here with little time on the clock. But I call his bluff and take, and he goes e6. I go check, just trading the queens. He makes another mistake here, hanging another exchange. And we're just in time here to stop the pawn with our bishop. Here he was hoping that I would just, you know, do something like this and hang my bishop, I think. But we stay protecting the bishop. He goes here, and we get our rook on the second rank here. And yeah, he just hangs the pawn here. Was there a way to defend it? I guess he can't really defend the pawn. So yeah, he just decides to create a different pass pawn. We take, he goes bishop d4, and we take the a pawn. And this should be a relatively straightforward conversion. The problem is I only have 43 seconds. So we decided to stack the rooks. My idea was, my idea was to trade this rook, but I guess the bishop just covers that square. We go check, bishop d6, just trying to make fast moves. I wanted to put pressure on this pawn with one of the rooks here. So he drops the bishop back. We go here, just pinning the pawn, putting some pressure. We get rook d1, attacking the pawn. We defend the pawn. He attacks our rook. We move the rook. Just very, you know, responding to my opponent's threats. I think he was just making one move threats, hoping I would slip with low time. He goes rook d4, I think just preventing the advancement of the pawn. We put our bishop here to get rid of the rook. And I think getting the king to defend the pawn will free up our other pieces, so that was my idea here. So we bring the king in. And yeah, in this position, I'm feeling a lot more secure because now my king's centralized, it's protecting the pawn, so it's kind of hard to make a big blunder in this position. But he goes rook g4. Now his rook's a little bit awkward because it can't really, doesn't have a lot of mobility from the square. We go here, again, pressure on the pawn. He takes, sacking the bishop, which, again, I think he just banked on me flagging, but yeah, now we can just, eventually I want to like get my king out of any of the checks and, you know, try to go after this pawn, maybe get my own pawns moving. So that's what we do. We circle the king around, and now I think the most resilient would have been this move to keep the pawn protected. But even here, I think I can use my bishop, right, to dislodge this. Yeah, and then after like check, you know, I'm gonna be able to get this rook off of the protection of the pawn, and then it'll just be pretty close to checkmate. But instead, my opponent goes after the pawns, not realizing the danger here because he's just getting laddered. And yeah, I don't think he can really stop it, can he? Check. King d5. Yeah, and I guess it's just pretty much checkmate here with the... Yeah. Yeah, so it was going to be checkmate anyways, but he at least could have defended against the ladder by going back here. But he takes a pawn, and we deliver checkmate. And I think if he would have found rook e7 check, like he had 2 minutes, right? All he has to do is spend his time and figure out how can I make Lasagna the Beautiful spend 12 seconds before he beats me. And I think he would have came up with rook e7, and he would have won the game here. Well, maybe I could have like traded the rooks or something and then tried to get this pawn off the board and managed to get a draw. But instead he crumbles a bit here, takes the pawn, and blunders the ladder mate. So GG's to com_003. It was an interesting game there in the Closed Sicilian. It's nice to see like a real opening and not some sort of random sideline. But yeah, if you enjoyed the video, make sure to comment, like, and subscribe, and we'll see you guys on the next one.